Hello Facebook and YouTubers, welcome to another Down to Earth Six Shot Changer video. Not a review this time because today, as you'll know from the title, we're looking at Transformers of 2014. So this is the best Transformers toys that I actually collected during 2014. Some of them actually came out before 2014, but I only got my hands on them this last year now. So what a year. I mean, great year for Transformers. If you're a TF fan and you're collecting them, then mind blown. It's just been more than I expected. You know, it exceeded my expectations of what would be released, and difficult to choose. I mean, I thought it was difficult to choose last year, to be honest. I thought that was a bit of a chore trying to figure out which are the best, and I think I got it pretty much right. This year was harder, much harder still, and yeah, a lot of runners-up, if you like, but we'll get to the honourable mentions at the end of the video, and for now we'll just focus on what we've got. So just before we start, I'd just like to say one thing. When I thought back over 2013, and I tried to get a little bit of the process in my head of how did I sort of calculate merit for these bots for that video. And I noticed there was one thing I actually did leave out, and that's one runners-up. Should have been the Perfect Effect Action Force X team, which is the Knot Reflector. And All in a Blur did a video of that recently. Thank you for everyone who watched that. She's really does like that toy, and I do too. It's great. But yeah, that should have been in the runners-up as well. So I think that was a miss for me. Anyway, getting on to this year. So I'm surrounded, although you can't see it because it's off camera, by the best of 2014 in my collection. Number 14 is Unique Toys Sound Mixer. So this guy, and I love this guy. He's just a brilliant representation of Blaster, and he jumps straight out the comic at me from my childhood, which is lovely. He's definitely the G1 sort of style, and I've got the Fall of Cybertron version, which is obviously the Voyager. This is actually Deluxe, and I really like this because it scales so well with some of my Deluxe figures and some of my Scout class figures as well, so really do like him. So he's my number 14. This guy here. This is AOE Optimus Prime, Evasion Mode, and this is a DX9 D04 armour, and this is a great figure on its own, just the AOE Prime. Brilliant figure. I think Hasbro really hit the nail on the head with that toy, because it got just enough of G1 with just enough of the movie to sort of please both sets of fans, and the transformation was great. So again, a really good toy on its own, but once you add this armour onto it, this add-on kit, it just becomes so much better. It really does add a lot more to it, and it adds a lot more old school because he's got a bit of a God Janari, God Bomber, Power Master Prime look as well now, and most people prefer it, which is why they buy the kits, and I'm no different. I love this. It's great with wings, and yeah, he just really pops. So that is my number 13 for 2014, which is actually a great big one. This is the crossover gen Trailer Force Optimus Prime, and speaking about the Power Master type of Optimus, that's exactly who this is. This is the big third-party Power Master Optimus, and he's great. I mean, I love this thing. He's just absolutely brilliant, and I haven't actually got around to reviewing this yet, so I'll be doing that soon. But fantastic representation of Power Master Prime, huge, and just really pops and just has a great look about him. So he's my number 12 of 2014. Planet X Kahless. Now this guy, when he came out, I thought this was going to be higher up the list when I actually got him. Of course, I hadn't got a lot of the other stuff at that point, but this is so good actually that it is seriously underrated by people who don't have it. They did a knockoff of this, an oversized one, and apparently the plastic quality was shocking. It was terrible. And that's a shame, because this is an original one and it is brilliant. It is really well made, really well detailed, a great representation of the swoop in the FOC game, and it even does the gimmick with the FOC Grimlock figure to carry him off. That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and no one else has done that either. So this is pretty much a unique piece, and I just love it. I think it's totally brilliant. Really cool one. Again, this is one that Seeker lovers absolutely, I think, managed to find and get into. And for me, I love these jets. This is the Conair Raptor Squadron by iGear, and this is their Skywind, which is a homage to Skywarp, and it is beautiful. It's based on the F-22 Raptor, of course, and it is a beautiful, beautiful jet with a stand. And I did review it, so if you want to check out the transformation for this and see the robot mode, check that out, please. But yeah, absolutely fantastic, fantastic representation of this figure, and highly recommended. So he got into my top 14. And this one's a bit obvious for Hasbro, Takara Masterpiece lovers. I think this is in a few people's top Transformer of the year, or last year as well. I'm not sure if he came out in 2013 or whether it was 2014, but I got him in 2014, so for me he fits into that year. And he's beautiful. This is an absolutely beautiful representation of Sound Blaster, or Sound Waves. This is the black version, and I really think he pops. On this, they corrected everything that they got wrong on the blue version, so I kind of wanted this, and being into a bit of the gothic stuff myself, I really popped, you know, with black. I do want a blue one as well, but I don't want the same mould, so I'm probably going to get, you know, something else. But I love this, absolutely brilliant, and definitely deserves its place in the top 14. So next was a bit of a latecomer and a bit of a surprise for myself, because I didn't get this straight away, was Unique Toys Troll. And again, and this one's beautiful. The Decepticon colours on it are lovely, and the scale is great. It really does represent the character in both modes, so I was well chuffed with this guy. You know, and I think he's just improving this company as well, so definitely worthy of his place. So is this. Not everyone's cup of tea, but this is iGear's Defence Specialist, and I did a really long review on this. I love this guy. Basically, Ratchet is one of my all-time favourite Transformers, and you know, he's my favourite Autobot, probably second only to Ultra Magnus, I'd say. I really love this character, and this is the best toy of him on the market by far. Will that change? Well, quite possibly. If they do a masterpiece, how will it scale against this? We don't know, but I'd be interested. But I do love this. Absolutely fantastic representation of Ratchet, or First Aid, because you can put the First Aid head on. And that did get into my top bots of the year. Just beautiful representation. This is another latecomer for me. This is Toy World's Infinita. So this is someone that I didn't know was going to come out this year. And here he is. This is, of course, the Toy World's homage to Fortress Maximus. And as you can see, he's very, very highly articulated character. Really tight joints, really good. This guy is probably the best looking Fort Max we've got, other than the G1 and the reissue. But I think the point with this was make something smaller you could fiddle with. You could just put it off the shelf and fiddle with, which you obviously can't do with a great big, you know, 2-foot robot. So I love this thing. It's brilliant. It's one of my favourite things to pick up and play with, more than a lot of the others, because it's so well made and it's just a lot of fun, and it does all the modes. So easily in my top Transformers of the year, and I just love the character as well. I really do like him. Again, he's one of my favourites, so brilliant that they did that. The next one is number 5, and this is Citizen Stack. Now, again, my favourite Autobot is Ultra Magnus, so it was obvious I was going to get this. I think the moment I saw they were doing this, I was all over it, and I gushed when I got this. It's a beautiful thing. He's beautiful. Sadly, MP22 can't be in this video because I got it just days after the new year, and yeah, I think it was like 2 days after. I think it was the 2nd, the 3rd. I think it's the 2nd. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the 2nd. So, and I was just absorbed into MP22 then. So I love this character, and I really do like both of these toys. They're just fantastic representations of this character. And I'm going to do a review actually soon of the two side by side that actually shows a comparison between them and the pros and cons and the differences. And of course it's subjective, but I think they're both brilliant, and this guy just had to be in my top bots of the year. He's fantastic and I highly recommend it to anyone that loves Ultra Magnus and likes big robots. Fantastic. My number 4 will come as no surprise to people that know me well, because I'm a Dinobot nut, and it's Scoria. Now, I thought Scoria was going to be my number 1 bot when I got him. I just assumed that would be my number 1 bot of the year, because Slag is my favourite Dinobot. Dinobots are pretty much my favourite Transformers, and you can't get a more G1 masterpiece Slag than this in the foreseeable future. I do believe Gigatoys are making a bigger one. That's going to be a bit huge. I don't know if I want them that big. This is as big as I'd want it. This scales well with Masterpiece, I'd say. Yeah, I'm not against the Gigatoys one. They might be really nice as well, but this is definitely absolutely brilliant. And when I got this, I just couldn't believe it, because as a boy, I've told the story enough times, I won't tell it again, but I just wanted one of these, never got the G1. Now I have, and I got this, and it just sort of feels like some sort of completion thing for me that, oh, I finally got this toy. So absolutely love it, and thank you Fans Toys for doing these. Brilliant. Okay. Is gonna be this guy. Again, Fans Toys, and this is Swoop. And thank you to everybody, by the way, that watched the review of this just a week ago now, when I'm recording this, because I loved it. I loved doing that review, and I loved this bot so much. And I didn't think there's going to top Scoria for me, because he's my favourite Dinobot. But the actual toy itself, this is actually possibly a superior toy, I have to say, and I'll tell you why. It's so shiny and it pops so well. I think the chrome on this is just beautiful, and the transformation is quite simple for such a big, robot, and so well articulated. And it does borrow a lot from the G1, but it has its own thing as well, which is just brilliant. It's not as fragile as the G1. This is much better made, which it should be. The stand is exquisite, this stand. And the only bit actually that's a little bit fragile on it is just these little bits on the knee, just here. There's these little gold bits here. You've got to watch those little bits of plastic, because it flex a bit if you're not careful. But that's about it for me. Other than that, this was perfect. And I'm just so impressed with it, it is a beautiful thing. And so it just sort of displaced Scoria a little bit, and that and the fact it was an anniversary present from All in a Blur, I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. This is cheating, I admit, because it's not really 1 bot. It's actually 4 that I'm going to represent here, but it's Feral Rex. And this guy is just absolutely massive. He's just totally massive, and I love him. He's well made. Mastermind Creations did a hell of a job on this guy. It's took me, all year to get this finished, and of course there's still a bit coming out this year, I think in next month, in February, the 6th one, which is optional, but I'm getting it anyway because I'm just loving these Feralcons. And it got me into third-party combiners because I wasn't going to bother, but it's just so beautiful. Honestly, guys, get this in hand and tell me you don't love it. It's just brilliant. It's just so well made, and he just looks like the characters, and he's so big. I'm repeating myself, so I'm going to stop there. Fact is, easily my number 2, no qualms about it. It could easily be my number 1. The only bit of this I didn't get this year was Bovis, which is one of the legs. So just take the leg off, pretend there's not a leg there, and it represents my number 2 of 2014. Are you ready for the big reveal? And it's a robot that came out in 2013, but I didn't get it until 2014. Quake Wave. And he's actually quite sought after. If they reissue this guy, he'll sell like hotcakes. Everyone's after one of these who doesn't have one, who likes this stuff. Well Made doesn't even cover it. It is extremely well made. This is something to live up to. It's possibly the best Transformer toy ever made in terms of quality. It's that good. And it looks like Shockwave in every way. The only slight difference is this cable should have gone under the arm, not over it. And there's even a kit to fix that, which I've got because they gave it me as part of the package. And the reason I don't bother is because I just don't care. I like it as it is. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. He scales perfectly with Masterpiece, in my opinion. And his gimmicks with the light, everything lighting up and everything, he's just a a beautiful thing. I mean, he's just absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous robot. Let's put that on. There you go. I just love it. I think he's just deserving of the #1 spot. He's articulated. His gun mode is very, very accurate. And he's my #1. So, I've had a really good year, 2014. I can't thank all these companies enough for being fans, because these companies are fans. Hasbro is a fan of Transformers. Takara is, Fans Toys is, Mastermind Creations, iGear, all these guys, Unique Toys, they're all fans of Transformers. If Planet X hadn't done Kahless, we wouldn't be having, all these Fall of Cybertron Dinobots we're getting now. It's just, thank you guys. #1 is Generation 2 Laser Optimus Prime. And I mean, he's an old toy. I mean, he's from 1995. So, yeah, he's an old toy really. He's vintage, but I love him. And I got him this year because I absolutely love him. So I keep saying this year, in 2014. And he's definitely up there. #2 is the Mech Ideas Gauntlet, because he's way underrated. Mech Ideas are a subdivision, if you like, of Mastermind Creations or something like that. They're somehow affiliated with them, and the quality is brilliant. And that figure I really like. Some people have had problems with him, but mine is absolutely great. And like I say, he's underrated. I don't usually get a lot of small bots, but I think he just fits on that record shelf so well. So the next one in the list is Toy World Aurora. Again, brilliant. It's a homage to Searchlight, and I really do like that one. Next one is the Make Toys Battle Tanker with Reveal Shield G2 Optimus Prime. And I haven't reviewed that yet, I will get onto it. Fantastic piece, a bit overly complex I think on the transformation, but it's for the size of it to scale with smaller things. I think it was a genius thing. And again, it homages actually the G2 Laser Prime, so I'm a big fan of that. And it's an add-on kit. It's going back to old school when Hasbro, Takara, Tomy made all the Transformers and other companies just made the kits. It sort of harks back to that, and I like it. The next one is Takara's Transformers Go Gexy Samaru, which is the Blue Lion. Fantastic toy, brilliant toy. The only one I got of that line, I think. But I do try to get things from every line if I can. And it just really nice size, lovely gimmick with the Japanese talking line. I think it's great. I really like the Make Toys Cogwheel. That's underrated, big time. It came with Trash Talk, and Trash Talk got all the attention. And I understand why, it's great. But I really like Gears as well, For me, Gears was obviously a much bigger character in the G1 continuity than Swerve was. Swerve has got a life of his own now in IDW, and I'm glad about that because he's great, and All in the Blur loves him, and it's a gift to her, and it's fantastic. It's just right next to me in a cabinet. But Cogwheel sits on my shelf, and I'm a big Gears fan, so I really like it. I think it's well made. It represents the character really well, and it's just a lot of fun for a little figure. The next one is the IDW Roadbuster, and I think it's a great figure. Again, underrated by some. Really great figure. He's quite hardy. I think he looks like, in the comic, he looks like Roadbuster. First really good Roadbuster we've had in ages, so I like it a lot. Another one is IDW Scoop. Great little figure. I like that figure a lot. And I never had the original, but I had the Quick Mix figure as a kid, and I really do like those guys. I love his little Target Masters. It's cool someone recently showed that he got a third mode you can put him into somehow, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I really like that. The next one is IDW Whirl, and to be fair, his helicopter mode is sweet. I really do like his helicopter mode. I think he looks like the comic depiction in robot mode. It's just his legs lets him down because he doesn't stand that well and he doesn't look great, but it is kind of, you know, what he is, what he's supposed to be. So yeah, he didn't make it into my top 14, but he's you know, he's a fair runner-up. And the last runner-up I was going to mention is the Fans Project Assaulter. And I mention him because he's very well made. He's got die cast in him. He's a big figure. He's the only real representation of the broadside character that we've had for our record shelves in a long time, really. You know, I struggle to think of anyone actually, but hopefully IDW line will release a Generations broadside soon. But in the meantime, you know, he's the one. And I'm going to keep him. I like him a lot. He's good. He didn't make it in my top 14 purely because he's a bit complex to transform. He's definitely not a fiddle. You know, his modes are okay. He's not got really strong carrier mode. It's more like a spaceship really. And his robot mode's pretty good. His jet mode is the best mode. That looks pretty awesome, like a giant bomber type thing. But he's just for me, it's just a shame he's so complex to transform because that can take the fun out of it if you wanted to fiddle with him. He's more something that you put on the shelf and you get off and transform once in a while, you know, just to change it. So didn't get my top 14, but still worth a mention. So I think I've covered absolutely everything I wanted to say on this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed my reviews in 2014. I've enjoyed doing it, and it's going to be a really good 2015. So I'll see you soon. Bye bye.